Everyone's talking about reaching your potential. It's everywhere in the self-help sphere, but most advice, in my view, leaves huge gaps. These 9 keys hope to address those gaps and actually show you how to get there. Now, I'm not claiming to have reinvented the wheel with this list by any means. Much of this advice could be found in books, but my point here is that this advice is fragmented. And so if you haven't read this large library of self-help books, then you're sort of left with all of this homework in order to see the full tapestry. So I've come up with this list of 9 keys that shows you sort of in a linear way how you need to change yourself in order to reach your full potential. Number 1 is play to your strengths and minimize the circumstances in which you draw from your weaknesses. So I think this key is kind of a sneaky one in the sense that it's sometimes easier said than done. It's easy to just look at your weaknesses and attempt to fix your weaknesses. And there's an argument for that. I'm not saying that that is a bad thing to do at all, but if you are trying to reach your potential, you have to play to your strengths. Emphasize those strengths and build upon those strengths. Key number 2 is humble yourself. This is one that I think we probably have all struggled with in the past. Humble pie is the toughest pie to swallow sometimes, but my gosh, in reaching your potential is this necessary. When you start at square one in anything, you have to realize that most square ones, had it right, I think. It's late, talking about squares and ones, whatever. Most square ones, they don't come with the luxuries of being at the top of a hierarchy. So you have to humble yourself. It's part of the game here. And the great thing about humbling yourself, if you have any long-term vision at all, you won't be needing to humble yourself for that long. But it is a step that you have to take, and it's only temporary. Number 3, network with people. Make connections. This is how the bread is buttered. Look back at the success that you've had in life and trace how each of your successes came from connections that you had. I bet you'll find that they proved pretty useful for you. Plus, we're wired for community. We are wired to have friends, but the more connections you have, the more networking you do, I firmly believe you'll make those connections and watch your opportunities blossom. The 4th key, whatever discipline you choose to pursue, you have to be dedicated to working on your craft. Reaching your potential is understanding what the fullest you is capable of, the best you. So you have to dedicate yourself to this. This isn't like funny business at this point. I don't think this is like work on something for 4 hours a day and, become good at it. This is like we are finding out what our potential is. So in order to do that, you have to be dedicated and hone your craft over the course of a decade plus. That's what it talks about in books like Mastery by Robert Greene. And if you take the first key and play to your strengths and really hone those over time, the sky's the limit for you. I mean, we truly do not know the upper limit of what that potential is for you. And by being dedicated, I believe that you will blow by the competition, because I think it is true that most people, they can stay dedicated for a little while, but most people bow out. And that leads me directly into the 5th key and how to rise to the top. You do that by staying disciplined and understanding how to motivate yourself. Reaching your full potential is going to be hard. It will feel like the myth of Sisyphus. You'll roll the boulder up the mountain, it'll fall right back down to the bottom. And when that boulder comes crashing all the way back down to the bottom, that is when the discipline is required. So what I did is I looked back at any previous successes I had, I analyzed each one, and I extracted out of them each factor that led to me being successful. And if you do that, you'll find out a lot about yourself, because maybe you don't know what makes you tick. Maybe you have some idea as to what makes you tick, but perhaps there's an unidentified, stronger way to motivate yourself that you would only know if you took the time to look back into your past and see how you were successful in certain areas. And this can be done with like a couple days of journaling. Just think back and honestly reflect and put, a decent amount of thought into it. You owe that to yourself, but know what motivates you and understand how to discipline yourself. The 6th key. Now this could be for all the marbles, but this is get comfortable with failure. When you're attempting to reach your potential, it's going to be a lot of trial and error. And I want to clarify here that when I say get comfortable with failure, it doesn't mean that you have to accept it as a whole or that's how life is going to be. What I'm saying is that failure will be part of the process, but with the dedication and discipline of working on your craft, this is where I believe we go from the myth of the myth of Sisyphus, say that 5 times fast by the way, to Malcolm Gladwell's tipping point. You'll roll that rock up the mountain and eventually, with all of your hard work and dedication, you'll tip it over the other side. Key number 7 is be patient. Very difficult to dedicate yourself to something for a year or two, and you will become impatient and the stress will get to you. I really don't care who you are, but you'll feel it at some point or another. And this is where some of that other self-help advice can come into play. Whatever gets you in the mood, really. Whatever gets you up in the morning and wanting to roll that boulder back up the mountain. Read whatever, positive psychology quote you have, read whatever Bible verse you have, whatever it takes. This is where that comes into play. Number 8, be adaptable. Whatever aim you set for yourself, inevitably over time, things will shift. The ground underneath you will change. But that's okay, because see, you're adaptable. This is a ride the wave type of adventure. You gotta go with the motion of the ocean here. Because when you're pursuing your fullest potential, who knows what you'll notice along the way. Be adaptable, roll with the punches, don't have a rigid idea of what this is gonna look like because it will look like something probably much different than when you first started. My 9th and final key, whatever you do, never stop learning. When people stop learning, that is why we can't have nice things. Keep your mind fresh, stay engaged. Bob Iger talks about this in his book, Ride of a Lifetime, the CEO of Disney. You innovate or you die. And that's a bit of advice from the corporate world. It's harsh, it's a little cold, very black and white, but it is true. The essence of the message is just stay on top of things, right? There are always ways to get better and improve ourselves. That doesn't mean that's what we should always be doing and never ever take a vacation or step back and relax and enjoy yourself, but just stay on top of things and be hungry to learn. And of course, my favorite way to do that is to read books. Read books always. Keep it a habit in your life, even if it's for just 30 minutes a day. Just read something. And if you don't know where to start, comment down below if you have a question about where to start, and I'll do my best to help you. Now, before I end this video, one caveat I want to make about this whole thing is you will not always care about or enjoy your work, no matter the field you choose. Video editing, that takes like 3 to 5 hours for me. It's really tedious and detail-oriented. That's something that isn't a strength of mine, but it is a sacrifice I have to make. I have to do it to get where I want to go. And so if you've ever looked at an opportunity in front of you like I have and thought to yourself, this isn't perfect, nothing is ever going to be perfect. You don't reach your potential overnight, you earn it. Every day you try your best, you adapt, you keep learning. So thank you so very much for watching this video. Now go out there and do something your future self will thank you for.